Hey fam, welcome back. Would you believe that I completely filmed this entire video and forgot to film an intro? You probably do believe it. But here we are. I got to use some more products from my shop, my stash. I will have everything listed in the description box below. But I am very excited to bring this video to you. This is my full face of affordable makeup, featuring a lot of the products I recently hauled. I know a lot of you were really excited to hear about the No. 7 products, the Flower Beauty products, and many others that we talked about. So today we are gonna play with this makeup, see how it all pans out, and I hope that you enjoy it. So if that sounds interesting to you, go ahead and stay tuned. We're gonna get into it right now. So I hope that you guys are excited today. This is a video I've gotten so many requests for. I'm so excited. I know you guys were really curious about the No. 7 products and the Flower Beauty products and all kinds of good stuff. And I'm more than happy to deliver. But before we get into the video, I just want to take a moment to acknowledge and honor Mel Thompson, who passed away on Sunday this week. This is the very first video that I'm filming since her passing. The last video that went up I actually filmed on Sunday. I learned that Mel Thompson passed away on Monday night in my book club group. I hadn't known prior, and I was shocked. I've watched a lot of Mel's videos, so I knew that she had some health concerns, but I guess I wasn't aware of the extent. I'm sure all of us were shocked. I never had the honor, privilege, or pleasure of knowing Mel Thompson beyond her YouTube channel. But I'm pretty sure a lot of you feel the same way I do, that even if we didn't know Mel personally, it still hurts so badly to learn of her transition. I know we're all hurting for her husband, her 4 children, her family, her friends, so many people on the platform that were good friends with Mel in real life, and it's just so sad. I spent most of Monday night, Tuesday, Wednesday just crying on and off, watching videos, watching her get ready with me, just trying to process everything. It was definitely just a really sad week and a rough week. And I want to send you guys all big hugs that I know are hurting too. Mel was such a beautiful person inside and out. She had such a bubbly, beautiful personality. I've never seen her be anything but kind. She even was sweet enough to comment back on my little Instagram post when I had done a look with the Tiny Marvels palette back when my channel was probably like half the size it is now. I'm still very small. And she took time out to acknowledge my post and comment back. And there's so many creators I've tagged that haven't done things like that. And Mel is bigger than most of them. It's hard to find the right words. There aren't right words. I just pray that we can all use Mel as an example to just be a little kinder, a little nicer, a little more patient with each other. She was such a role model, not only for just how talented she was, but how she lived her life and how she presented herself and the way that she treated others. I think we could all stand to be a bit more like Mel. I know I've been feeling so helpless all week, and I did watch Kelsee's tribute video where she mentioned that she started a GoFundMe to help the family. So if any of you are interested in donating, I will leave her video link down below. I want to thank Mel for being such an important and amazing member of the beauty community, for teaching us all so much, for sharing her beautiful family with us, and her beautiful friends, for being such a light and such a wonderful person with a heart of gold. I just wanted to take a moment to say that and to say how I've been feeling and to thank you guys for being patient with me. It was just hard to focus on anything else this week. So thanks for sticking by me. And thank you to Mel for making all of our days a little better, a little brighter, and a lot more sparkly through her beautiful content. Rest in peace, Queen. So first I usually like to start with my brows, and the reason being is that if I mess them up, I have clean skin, I can just easily like clean them up. But I wanted to retry this NYX The Brow Glue. I don't know how well this is gonna work as like a first product. Hopefully it doesn't make my other products like apply weirdly on top, but I kind of just want to get my thoughts more together on this product. And I thought today would be a good day since we're focusing on affordable makeup. Looks pretty good if it stays this way. I don't always bother like fluffing up my brows. It kind of just depends on how much time I have and my mood. But I thought for today, we'll go for it. So have you guys discovered any affordable beauty products that you've been loving? The one thing I don't like about this product is it gets a little gunky, but hopefully I can kind of just pull it through with a little brush. And then I did finish up a brow pencil that I loved. The one I'm currently using is from Kylie, so this is not an affordable brow product, but one I would highly recommend is this one from Maybelline. This is the Brow Ultra Slim. My shade, which I thought worked pretty well for me, is in deep brown. I'm also going to use the Essence Make Me Brow. eyebrow gel mascara. Let me try this next actually, and see if we even need to go in with a pencil. Because maybe I'll just keep it simple today. I really like this product. It's super affordable. I wanna say it's like $3 or $4 maybe. So definitely very budget friendly. And like I said, if it does get a little wild, at least I don't have any other makeup on. But I've been enjoying this. I put it in my stash to try to use it up. But after using it more, I just really like it. And it might be the one that I would like repurchase once I go through all my benefit ones, because it is so affordable and it works so well. So I'm just kind of using it to create like hair-like strokes here in the front and to kind of like thicken up the hair that I do have there, like to make it more pronounced. So yeah, maybe we'll have like a simple brow routine today and I won't even incorporate a pencil. Just kind of have to see how they turn out. I feel like this is working really well with the NYX Brow Glue as well, which is good to know. So yeah, I think that's fine. I think I'll just leave it like that today. The next product that I wanted to try was the e.l.f. Putty Eye Primer, and I will admit I'm a little nervous. I've heard that this is a very dry product, and folks haven't really been liking it from what I've heard. This is, I think, rose or something. I know it's a pinky one, and I'm just dipping into it on this little, kind of like a little angled brush. This one happens to be from Japanesque, and I'm just going to lay this over my eyelid. I've been using the Glamlight Icing Base like it's going out of style. I love that eye base. I think it's so great, especially with colorful shadows, but it's great with all shadows. And this one from e.l.f. had reminded me a lot of the MAC paint pots. Specifically, this one looks like Painterly to me. The other one that's a little bit on the lighter side reminds me of Soft Ochre because it's a little more warm toned. I'm kind of just stamping it a bit more up here because I don't want to mess up my brows. And I think the true test will be when we start to lay shadows over it. Clearly it's an eye primer, but laying it down, it's not bothering me so far. It could be because I'm putting a bit of like a thinner layer. So maybe if I were to go in like with my finger or something, maybe I would have a different experience with it. I'm hoping that I like this product because if this could be an alternative to the paint pot, if you didn't want to spend the money for that, I'm confident it's not as good because the paint pots are beloved. And this one has mixed reviews. But I mean, if you're in a pinch and you're looking for an affordable eye primer, I'm hoping that this one could be a good option. But we'll just have to see how it performs, of course. I tend to get like a little dry patch right there or something where primer doesn't always want to stick. So I'm just hoping this will apply smoothly. And I think I'm gonna carry it out a little bit here on the side because I do tend to sometimes pull my eyeshadow out. And I'm not sure what I'll do with the palette today, so just in case. The color just so much reminds me of Painterly. And next I'm gonna move into eyes. The eyeshadow palette that I'm gonna use today is this one from Flower Beauty. This is the Desert Lights palette. Desert Lights is the successor to Jungle Lights, which is such a beautiful palette. You can see this is also an all shimmer palette, but the colors are so pretty. And then Desert Lights is all shimmer as well, but it's more like rose gold coppery tones. Now because these are all shimmer, I may do an all shimmer look, but in case I don't wanna do that or I wanna add a little bit of matte, I pulled in my Profusion 7-shade multi-finish eyeshadow palette. I thought that these tones looked like they would go really well with the Flower Beauty palette. So I thought we would try that. And then I thought it would also be fun to pull in my Colourpop, the Scorpion loose pigment. I want to use this with some setting spray as a liquid liner. I thought that would be really pretty for the look. And this is also affordable, though I don't know that these are carried anymore. But if you guys have them already from years ago when Kathleen Lights did this collection, or if you have something similar, or if you have a red liner, you know, feel free to follow along. And I'm just gonna quick swatch this so we can see some of these shades, maybe get some inspiration. There's 4 of the colors. And then here are the other 2. Okay, so I swatched them all on the back of my hand. And I think I wanna go ahead and start with this shade right here. I'm just using a little flat Luxie brush. And I think I wanna start this like right here, kind of in the center of the lid, because I might wanna do something different in the front and I might wanna do something different in the back. But I know I want this shade to be kind of the basis of the look we create. And it is super sparkly. You could probably also use like a sticky base, but I wanted to test out the e.l.f. base today and see how it performs. And I'm carrying this up to my crease. I probably will play with the Profusion palette just for fun, but you definitely don't need to. You can totally create a look with all shimmer if you want to. But I think I want to pull in that Profusion palette. I haven't used it in a little bit, and it's a really pretty palette, so I want to try to get a little bit of use out of it. And again, this is the top shade all the way to the right. This is so pretty. I love indie makeup, which I'm sure a lot of y'all know. And this to me is so reminiscent. Okay, so now I want to grab a little bit of this kind of more chocolatey brown shade. It's that color. And I'm gonna grab like this little brush. It's kind of like a thick pencil brush. I don't know what you would call this. It's the Moda Detail Brush. So I'm gonna grab a little bit of that chocolatey brown, which is this shade. And I just want to kind of build up our outer corner with this. This is a little bit of a different texture than the other shades. It's just as like impactful, but it's a little bit more, maybe a little less metallic than the other shades. So I thought this might be a really pretty deepening shade. I've never played with this palette before. I've been waiting to film this video for y'all to play with it myself. So I'm so excited to finally be tapping into it. And I think I want to tap into this shade here. It's kind of like a little duochrome type of situation. It's like this kind of like goldy one. And I want to put that in the front of my lid, just so we can try more shades from this palette. And I'm kind of just like outlining the crease with this. Like I'm just keeping it below the crease, but like right up against it. And I love how these shades kind of like morph into one another. Kind of dragging it over a little bit to blend. I think that looks really pretty so far. So now we've repeated those shadows on both sides. And now I'm gonna reach into the little Profusion palette. I'm thinking I'm just gonna probably use like this shade and this shade, which I'm sure if you have an eyeshadow palette in your collection, you probably have these two shades. They're so common. I'm gonna tap into the deeper one. So it's kind of like, I guess like a terracotta shade. There's a little swatch. So I'm gonna reach into this color and I'm gonna use this little skinny blending brush. And what I basically wanna do is just sort of bring this right up against the shimmer to kind of blend this. I started sort of in the center and just wanna sort of pull this toward the outer corner. And I know it's a little messy and stuff right now. It always looks messy. Just a messy kind of gal. But I always do clean this up. Once I'm finished the eye look, I'll like clean that up with some micellar cleansing water. I just find that to be the easiest way for me. That way I can kind of just be creative and not stress too much or worry about everything being perfect. Let me just be honest right now, nothing's ever perfect. At least not on this channel. But I just want to sort of create a little shape. And I'm keeping it the lightest here in the front. I'm like barely bringing my brush here. I'm mainly, I guess, starting about a third of the way in, like here, and then back. Just to kind of blend. And like I said, I think that's a pretty common color, just like a burnt, reddy orange color. And then I'm gonna grab this fluffier brush and I'm gonna tap into this light tone. And that's it for reference. Like I guess like a rosy beige. And I'm just gonna use this color to buff out that line. And just kind of soften it. So this is the top of both eyes done. I think it turned out really pretty. I really like the gradient. I love the way those two palettes combine with each other, the Profusion and the Flower. And I'm so happy because now I'm more inspired to pull the Profusion palette out to play with this palette, since this one already inspires me and is so beautiful and so much fun. So next I'm gonna take this little pigment. This is totally powder. Let's see if I can do this without tipping it over. So this is just a powdered loose pigment. And I'm gonna put a little bit of this in the little cap it comes in. I'm gonna hit it with some setting spray. And then I'm gonna take this little liner brush. Look at my fingers. It's a messy job. I'm gonna take this little eyeliner brush and I'm just gonna do a little wing liner, but it's gonna take me a little bit, so I'm gonna do it off camera and I'll show you guys what it looks like. So I wanted to quickly show you guys the little liner that I did. It's a little messy, but I kinda like it. If you can hear the vacuum cleaner, I'm so sorry, Doug is downstairs vacuuming. But I wanted to just hop on really quickly before I put on mascara and lashes to show you guys like kind of what the liner looked like. I just like built it, like I said, with a little pigment and this brush. And the handy thing about doing your eyes before you do your base is that you can go in with like a little Q-tip. If you're just like wilding and it's just everywhere like it was with me, you can just do your thing and then go back and clean it up with a little Q-tip and some micellar cleansing water. So that's what I did. I think it looks really pretty. I really like it. So I'm gonna go ahead and throw on some mascara. This is not drugstore, but I only open one mascara at a time. So I'm gonna throw on my Queen Studio mascara and I'm gonna throw on some lashes, and the lashes I'm gonna put on are drugstore. These are the Ardell Faux Mink in 814. I found that the style looks really flattering on my eye shape, and then I'm gonna use the Kiss Strip Lash Glue, which is also an affordable product. So I'm gonna do all of that and then we'll be back to start working on base. Okay, so Doug appears to be finished vacuuming. We are gonna move on to the number 7 Lift and Luminate Triple Action Serum Foundation. I really like the way the eyes turned out too. I think they look really pretty. So I'm going to pump some of this onto my Jaclyn Hill foundation brush that I love. And that's what one pump looks like. Looks like it's a very light shade, but we'll see how this looks on my skin. It looks nice and cool toned at least. which makes me happy. And I'm putting this on over my e.l.f. Jelly Pop Dew Primer. Because this said serum in the name, I figured this would be a good primer for this product. And so far it's looking really beautiful. I think it gave me some nice coverage. I think the finish looks really pretty too. Let's try another pump. Have you guys tried the W7 foundation? This is my very first time. I don't know what possessed me to get it. I think I was seeing commercials. It might have even been for their skincare line. Maybe it was for their concealer, I'm not sure, but I was like, I'm gonna try that. And I already had their powder. So I figured if I picked this up, I could try it with the powder, I could try it with the concealer. And so far I really like that. Zoom you guys in. So that is the texture of it on my skin. I think it looks really pretty. I'm not sure how it will wear. I'll have to see as the night goes on. But initial application, I really like it so far. And tonight is the season premiere of SNL. I forget who the host is and who the musical guest is, but I'm so excited. It's funny, I used to watch SNL a lot when I was like a teenager, back in the Stone Age. But then I kind of stopped watching it for a really long time. And then Doug, when I started dating him, he really liked it and he got me back into it. And now I love it too. And I love this foundation. I mean, I know I just put it on, but so far I really, really like it. I think the color's really nice. I'm so happy to see a cool tone foundation. Mine is in the shade Cool Ivory. And then next I wanted to try the concealer. This is the No. 7 Lift and Luminate Serum Concealer. And this one is in the color Light. So I'm going to pop some dots under my eye. Color looks good. And then we are gonna blend this out. Let's see what the coverage is like. I'd say it's like a medium coverage. You can still see some blue under my eyes, but the finish is really pretty. It's making me wish I had known about these products sooner. It's a really, really pretty concealer. I'm probably gonna put a bit of a color corrector just in the areas where it's still a little bit dark. I love the finish. This is so pretty. And I do think it's hydrating. Yeah, I really like that. But I do think I'm gonna dip into my all-around color correction palette from Catrice. And I wanna dip into this like pinky shade. And I just wanna pop a little bit, kind of brighten. Right in here where I feel like I could use a little bit more coverage. And I'll go back and blend it with the concealer brush. Just kind of tapping it in with this Japanese brush. It's cool, it's kind of like angled. So it's perfect for this kind of thing. See how they definitely brighten things? And I think I'll go back with just 2 dots just to kind of get these colors a bit more blended. 3 dots. Just over that dark area and just sort of blend this in with the rest of my under eye. And I think that's already looking a lot better. I love that Catrice palette. It's been so handy. Especially with all the colors there at once. Like if you have a little breakout, you can pop a bit of green on top. Or like me today, if you have a little bit of extra darkness under your eyes. I did not sleep very well last night. Showing that today on my face. The little Catrice color correcting palette is just fabulous. So next I'm gonna tap into the W7 Lift and Luminate Triple Action Translucent Finishing Powder. And this is what it looks like. Mine is in the shade Light. I'm just gonna use this little fluffy brush and I'm just gonna dust into the product a little bit and then set this. Ooh, she is blurring. Just kind of set my face, set under my eyes. And this is the one that is like considered a dupe for the Charlotte Tilbury. Is it Flawless Finish? I can't remember what hers is called. So I'm just kind of setting around where my foundation can kind of get creasy, or where my skin can get a little bit oily, or where the makeup might break up. Here in my smile lines. This little spot on my forehead likes to be a little troublemaker. That looks so pretty. And then next we're gonna dip into the e.l.f. Putty Bronzer. Mine is in the second shade, Honey Drip. And this is what she looks like. I've just swatched her before. I'm gonna tap in with my Luxie brush. This is the 660 Precision Foundation brush. I love this brush. I use this for cream bronzer often. I really just like that it's a little smaller. I like that it's meant for foundation, so it's meant for like a cream product. I like the duo fiber bristles. And I just tap it. I've definitely heard some mixed reviews on this bronzer. I've heard it fades. I've heard that it can be a little too sheer, which is why I felt comfortable going forward with the second color up. It's very pretty. And it's applying pretty nicely. Now again, like I said, I've heard complaints about the staying power, so that I will have to come back on. And then I'll pop a little bit of this onto my forehead, kind of connecting it. And again, I'm not dragging the product, I'm just pouncing it. And then with my concealer brush, I'm gonna kind of blend the edges. I love this little brush from Morphe. This is the Morphe M536 Cream Bullet Brush. Looks really pretty. I hope it lasts. Next, I'm gonna contour my nose. And for that, I'm gonna use one of my favorite bronzers, which is the Maybelline City Bronzer. Mine is in 100. That's what she looks like. And I'm just going to pop some of this onto my nose. I know it looks a little crazy, but I will blend this with some powder. Grab that brush we used under my eyes and blend that out. So did you guys do anything fun this weekend? I've been wanting to do something for Halloween, like find something to do for Halloween. But a lot of the stuff around me is looking like it's like family stuff or stuff for kids. Like, can we have like an adult Halloween costume party, please? That would be amazing. I love Halloween so much. And then for blush, I'm gonna choose one of the Flower Cream blushes. We have Spiced and we have Cheeky. And I think based on the look, I think Spiced, because it's a little bit more coppery. So I'm gonna put a little bit on the back of my hand, like that. And then this is not the brush I would normally use with a cream cheek product, but I'm just gonna smear it out a little bit. And I'm gonna hope for the best. I'm just gonna barely tap. And then just sort of bounce this to blend the blush onto my cheek. It's much easier to add more product than take it away. So just working a little bit at a time. And I love how glossy that made my cheek. And this brush isn't doing as badly as I feared, which is good. I love this look. Then I pulled a bunch of highlighters. I pulled out Blossom Glow, but that might be a little too icy. I have Molten Rose Gold and Molten Peach. I really want to play with Molten Peach, but I think I'll go with Molten Rose Gold. I'm just gonna grab this little fluffy brush and pop that into the pan. I'm just kind of patting that onto my cheek. Like definitely one of my favorite highlighter formulas in my entire collection. And it's from good old Maybelline. So for the lower lash line, I think the first thing I'm gonna do is use my little liner brush from before. And I just want to connect the lower lash line to our wing. Next, I'm gonna take my little flat brush and dip back into the palette. And I think we'll start with the deepest shade. Just a little bit, and kind of run that up against our other shade. And then let's dip into this top shade, and we're gonna run that more in the center. And I'm just picking up like the teeniest, tiniest bit of product. And then for the front of my eye, I'm gonna tap into the center shade. And then for the very inner corner, I'm gonna reach into this gold shade here at the top. And I'm just gonna pop that right here in the inner corner. It's so beautiful. This whole palette is so pretty. Now I'm gonna do my lips, and I picked out two Colourpop BFF liners. I have BFF 2 and BFF. I think I'm gonna go with BFF, which is this first one. And then I'm gonna go with my NYX Super Clicky Matte Lipstick in the shade Empowered. And I have it swatched right there. So I don't think I love that color, but I'm gonna top it with this Maybelline gloss. This is in the shade Stone. Hopefully this can kind of tone it down a little bit. Just like adding that bit of brown. And kind of like neutralized it. So I'm gonna take my hair down, pop on some lower lash mascara. Again, this is not an affordable product. This is from Urban Decay, the Profusion mascara, but like I mentioned, I only really have one mascara open at a time, and I have these two open. I always use this one for my lower lash line, so that's the only caveat. I think I'll also pick out a liner for my waterline, and then we'll be back for the final look. So this is the final look. I went into my waterline with this Colourpop gel liner. This is in this shade Charmer. And then I also was noticing, as much as I like my brows and how natural they looked, I think with the rest of my makeup, they just like were kind of getting lost on my face. So I did reach into my Salon Perfect powder. I've had this for so long. I've panned in like two of the powders, and then this one's like a huge pan. But I just reached into the darkest cool tone powder and very lightly like fluffed a little bit of this darker powder into my brows with this little angled brush. And I think they look a lot better. My face just feels more defined now than it did before I put the powder in. I actually loved everything I tried today. I'd say the only product that I was the slightest bit iffy about is the NYX The Brow Glue. And I'm not even really iffy about it because I do think it looks nice in my brows. And like you can see, they still look pretty feathery, I think. But it isn't like as great of a hold as the Anastasia Brow Freeze. But I think this one was like $8 or $9. I want to say $8, like $7.99. And I think it did a really good job. And then obviously my little Salon Perfect powder is, I love this. I even have a backup of this little palette. I used to use brow powder all the time, and I should probably get back into it because I really think it's a lot easier and looks a little bit more natural. I really love the foundation and concealer so far. Again, I need to kind of see how they wear. I like the powder. The NYX lipstick, I'm not crazy about. I might end up decluttering that one. It's a pretty color, but it's a little bit hard to get like a precise line. And I don't know that I have a lip liner that's like exactly perfect for that one. We'll see. But I like it with the gloss topped over it. I think it just helped to neutralize that like reddy tone a little bit more, make it a little bit more of a brown red, which is what I was more looking for. I love the Flower Beauty palette. The Desert Lights, I think this is fantastic. I liked it with the Profusion palette as well. I really like the liner trick I did with the little pigment. I love this color gel liner in my waterline. The bronzer I think is really pretty. The highlight obviously is beautiful. The blush I think is also really pretty. I'm very happy with this makeup. I'm always so impressed and surprised when I find really great affordable products that look as beautiful or more beautiful than high-end products. That's just always like my favorite. But yeah, I really like this so far, and I'm excited to see how it wears. I hope you guys enjoyed seeing this video. I hope it was helpful for you to see a little bit more about these products and hear my thoughts. And I'd love to hear all of your thoughts in the comments down below. I also want to give you guys a quick epilogue on the products. Again, I've only tried them all once. However, I have some thoughts already, and I do want to keep retesting them in different ways. From memory, the e.l.f. primer, obviously you guys know I love. Everything to do with the brows, I'm a pretty big fan of. I even tried Hannah Louise Poston's trick with this little lash glue to brush it backwards through your brows first and then brush it up. I did that today for my brows, and I really like it so far. This product, I believe, is $8, so it's not too bad. The Anastasia Brow Freeze is a clear favorite for me already, but this one's a really great affordable drugstore option. It might not have quite the hold or the spikiness of the Anastasia Brow Freeze, but it's a decent product. Your best, most affordable option is still gonna be the Got2b gel, but this is a really easy product to use. You're never gonna go through that entire tube of gel for just your eyebrows. It would take an eternity. This is a smaller little option. It's got a brush. It's quick and easy to travel with. So I think this is a decent option at the drugstore. As far as the base goes, I like the foundation. I like the powder from No. 7. The concealer, unfortunately, as beautiful as it looked at application, it did end up feathering and creasing and like little squiggly lines under my eyes. So I do want to try it with the Milk primer base and see if maybe that can help. So I want to keep testing that product, but I wouldn't run out and get it because it did feather on me and it did crease a bit more than concealers typically do. The e.l.f. bronzer I didn't have any direct issues with, but I do tend to set my cream bronzer with a powder bronzer, so that may have helped. I do want to continue to test that product. I really like the flower blushes. I think they're really beautiful. And of course I love the Maybelline highlighter. that's a favorite. It's been a favorite for a while. In terms of the e.l.f. eye base, I do think it worked well as a primer. The only thing I will absolutely say is that I could feel it on my eyelids. It made my eyelids feel a little heavy, or just that I was aware that there was product there. But I think if you are in the market for an affordable base and you don't mind that little bit of sensing the product on your eyelids, it's not the end of the world. But if that would bother you, I might not go with that primer. If it wouldn't bother you, I think it's worth maybe checking out. It's only a few dollars if you hate it, but that's completely up to you. You absolutely, I think, can feel it on your eyelids. It's just a little heavy feeling. The gloss I really liked. The NYX Lippie Stick, I think I'm just not as huge of a fan of. I think in a lighter shade it might work better, but being such a deep shade and hard to line the lips with, it got a little tricky. Of course, I love the Colourpop Lippie Pencil. That's been a long time favorite as well. I think they're very affordable and creamy, and I really enjoy their products. And of course, both eyeshadow palettes and the Pigment, big fan. And I think that was everything. So that's a really quick synopsis of my experience just using these products once, but I wanted to give you guys my thoughts so far. I thank you all so much for being here with me today. I love you all so much, and until the next video.